Hey everybody, welcome to our grade 1 guided writing lesson. So I can just show you some of the things that I would do while giving a normal guided lesson to the grade 1 students. So the first thing we want to think about is paper. If you're lucky enough to have paper in your home at this time, that's great. Whatever paper you have, whatever's going to work for you. I have computer paper at my house, and what I would do if I was in the classroom and say we ran out of our normal computer printed paper, I would create lines using a ruler and a pen. I would use a pen because if your child makes mistakes and needs to erase, this way they won't erase any of those lines. And this is how I would create the paper. So I would do it portrait, and at the top there would be a small space for their name and for their title. This larger space is for a simple drawing. And then several lines, including all the way down to the bottom. Get as many lines as you can in to try to we're going to try to encourage as much detail and as much information and storytelling as we can get. So that's how I would organize their paper. Whatever you have or whatever you're able to do, I'm sure that you will make it work the best way that works for you. So traditionally I would start obviously with putting my name on my paper, because we always teach that it's so important to put your name on your work so that you know that it's your work and can claim it later, and everybody knows who the author is. I would also go through like a generally detailed, fairly detailed picture to tell the story. I did the picture already to save you some time. And then we would move on to, okay, so now we need to think about our piece, think about the things that we want to tell in this story. So in this story, I would say, I was out for a walk, and all of a sudden this dog just came out at me on the road, and he was barking and everything, and he actually was a very friendly dog, but he scared me because of how he kind of burst out and he was barking. So I want to talk all about that. I want to talk about the walk. I want to talk about what kind of a day it was. I want to talk about the dog and how the dog looked and acted, how the dog made me feel, and even like how that ended, how that all came together. So I would encourage them to start. So we say we open, and when we open with our hearts. We open with what we were feeling or what was going on at the time. So we connect it to our heart and ourselves. So I would start with I, or if it was a we situation, I would start with we. So I went, and went is one of our grade 1 words, and it's here. So I would keep that right there. W. And I'm always reminding them about spaces. Most of my kids have spaces, but they do slip up occasionally, so keep your eye on those spaces. So I went for. For is another one of our grade 1 word wall words. So I'm going to put that there. It's a kindergarten word as well. For walk, so I'm going to leave my space for and then walk is not on the word wall, so I'm going to pull that down. W. Octopus, walk, and that's where I put my period. Or I might say I went for a walk yesterday and put that time word in to make it a little more interesting. Now I know this isn't how you spell the word walk, but we are still at that inventive spelling stage. If you want to take it further and teach them the dictionary spelling, I will not argue. All right, so continuing on, I'm going to say, well, okay, now I want you to tell me more. So you're just telling me that opening, that connected part, what were you doing? And then I want you to tell me what happened first, and start thinking about time words like first and then and next and after and things like that, to try to tell more of the story in a sequence. So I went for a walk. So I would say... when I was walking, so when is a good time word. When I was is a word wall word. I'm not going to slow down for every word wall word for you. I'm sure you've got this. When I was walking, and we do use ing as one of our sound chunks. So this is skipping or jumping, and we talk about the ing for skipping and jumping. So I'd say, oh, there's an ing there. Let's attach that on the back. When I was walking, a dog, octopus, a dog jumped, and I always talk about the vowels because they're so important. Umbrella, jump, We have been talking about ed. Please talk about your kids about ed if you have the time. A dog jumped out, at me. And then I would remember to put my period there. Then I would say, I would use one of my time words. I would encourage a time word like then, and I would say, there's a period here. What does that mean about the next letter? And we want the response that it's an uppercase letter, okay? So, then, T-H-E-N, then he started. Now, that's st, so I'm going to put my st at the top of my head and say that's two sounds. St. What do you hear in st? Break that into two. St. It's a blend. S-T. A-R for star. R, st, R, t, and there's that E-D again. Then he started barking. B, there's that R again. A-R-R. Bark. And then the ing, jumping, playing. Ing, barking at me, period. Now I'm going to talk about how I felt. I was scared. I, uppercase because it's a period, but also I is always uppercase when you're talking about yourself, was, and then we come to scared and we have that sk, that blend again at the beginning. So you want to say sk. I hear two sounds there. What are they? And you want them to break it apart into your SC or S. Okay. Scared. I was scared. And I would encourage an exclamation mark there to say, I was really scared, right? You want to say, I was scared. Then I would say, then I would continue my story, or then or next. Then I yelled, elephant, yell. If you want to show the double L here for yell, absolutely do. I have not taught it yet, but that ED. Then I yelled at him, and he ran and then we come to the AY chunk, which they have been learning, and I cannot find at the moment. No, it's disappeared. But anyway, the AY chunk for play, and so we are AY. And he ran away, period, or you can encourage an exclamation point there too. Then I want to always, so we opened with ourselves and we're going to close with ourselves. So I say we want to close with how we felt or what we were thinking. And so I could say, the way I feel about the dog, I hope, oh wait, that's just hop. How can I make the O say O? I have to add an E. I hope I do not see him again. Exclamation point. And then I also like to tell them to close with the end, just because it's kind of fun. So I just say the. I always close with the end. All right. Okay, so I hope that helps. It's all about encouraging, getting more and more detail down, so they're telling like a whole story. And they can write about anything that they want to write about. It can be real, it can be imaginary, It could be whatever comes to their minds that they want to put down on paper. All right, enjoy.